This is Zichru Daf Simanim Gemara Makkos Daf Vav. Now Vav is a long singular letter which is straight, just like a sword. So Vav is always going to be a sword. Davav, a sword. It's over here in Davav. It's very easy in Makkos because a sword, we have a murderer. So of course, he's murdered with a sword. Now, who witnessed the murder? It was a bunch of people who were Pasal Le'idos, a brother, a karov, and other people. So we see this person sitting here and he's thinking that when Hasra is given, and when they tell the person don't kill him, you see two people giving Hasra. The third is not, because the third is the brother. So the one who's Pasal Le'idos did not give Hasra. Point number one is whether Nimsa Echad Kari Vaypasal, as we'll explain further, applies to one who did not want to be an aid. He happened to have been standing there. Point number two, we see one of the Dayanim over here telling the murderer that he doesn't disqualify the other aidim. Yakum davar akasav medaber. And that's going to be the fascinating machlekes and discussion whether the murderer, the murdered, the one who got killed himself, does he passel? Adam is karav eitel atzmai. He saw the murder. Maybe he murdered him from behind, as we're going to see. Does he passel? And point number three is we have a different dayan telling two eidim that they're eidos miyuchados. They're individualized eidim, and therefore each window, therefore they're not going to combine. So our 3 points in Daf Vav, the sword, is we have a murder done by a sword. Point number one is, does a karav passel if he just saw, but he did not give us surah. Point number two is, does the person who got himself, is he a karav eitzel atzer, does he passel? Point number three is eidos miyuchadis. Let's dive a little bit deeper. The first point is the machlekes. Is this only by dinei mamanis echad karav passel or to anyone? So tonight in the Mishnah discussed this halacha. Do we say if one of them is found to be a karav passel that all this is batal? Rav Asi says that's by dinei nefashos, but by money teskayim adavar bishar. Rebbe says no, it's by everything, but only where there's hasra, only where the karav, the passel, gave the hasra, showing that is his role as an aid. He himself gave Asra. But if he did not give Asra, like in our case, then he'll still be kosher. What's the reason? The reason is mamish our case. What are we supposed to do if I happen to see something together with my brother because I saw it? I didn't give Asra. I happen to see it. Automatically, I'm going to passel. And then the Gemara Viter says, Rava explains that Bezdin didn't disqualify the Eidim. They have to try to figure out why they came to see this story. Point number two is the person in the event himself, the nerag, the one that is killed. Does he get hasra? Does he passel up? According to Rav Yossi, even he himself will. Rav asked Abaye me'ata haru yatzal. He should himself. Abaye first says he's killed from behind. Says Rav Papa, what about a nirva? A man in his relation with another man, he also should make it passel because he saw it himself. Abaye says again, it was done from behind. He did not see. Rav Papa says, let the murderer, the Reveh, say himself, Adam Karov Eitel Atzmai. Abaye says, Ayakum Davar, B'mekayme HaDavar, that the passel says only those who see it, not the person himself. And point number three is Eidos V'Yochados, watching of different Mishnah. The windows, the next Mishnah says, then if they can see each other, then they're one group of Eidim. If not, then they're two group of Eidim. Of course, Klap E Hazama. Rav Asi says you're not killed unless there's Hasra. Rav says the Makar is Eidos V'Yochados. The pasuk says, Al Pi Eid Echad. It's already required two witnesses. Why do we have this extra word? Bryce adds that even if they watch the same window, they do not combine. Rav Nachman says Eidos Miyuchadis is kosher for dinei mamre. So Davav, the sword, we envision this picture of someone being killed with the sword, and it's being witnessed by a bunch of people, and only some of them give Asra. The one who's a karav apostle does not give Asra. Will that passel it up? Is the sealing something unwillingly passel up? Number two is, what about the person himself? He witnessed it. Will that passel it up? No, because yakum davar. Only those who are being mekayim. And point number three is the din of eidos miyuchadais. Gemara Makkos Daf Vav, a sword.